So, cut to the Chase Sports Podcast. We're talking NFL schedule release, and oh boy, we're talking about it. Here we go.
ATL Jacob, ATL Jacob.
What's up, everybody? It's Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast. We bring unique insight and analysis behind your favorite teams at the collegiate and professional levels. I'm your host, Chase Shantz. Brady and Matt aren't in studio today, but Jake is in my studio today. What's up, Jake?
Yeah, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Talking info schedule release, and we got our good friend over in Richmond, Tyler Smith, man, of Keeping It Real with Tyler Smith. What's up, Tyler?
Not much, man. Doing good. Jake, good to see you as well. I know we don't talk as much, but it's going to be a crazy day. You know, you got the Bengals jersey and the hat on, so I think you know where you want to go today.
I don't know if you can tell, but do you know who I'm wearing? Can you see at all?
I can't. I got Chase's name right there.
No, it's a little squeeze in here. Is it
Mixon?
No, it's Cam Taylor-Britt.
Close enough.
Cam Taylor-Britt? Okay. I kind of saw the two going on.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw the two, then like the top of the 9, thought it was an 8. Cam Taylor-Britt, that's a unique jersey right there.
Hey, my guy, I love him, man. He did so good. I was hyped for him every time he's on the field. I love that guy.
Most definitely. Awesome. Yeah, man. I mean, we're all Bengals fans here. Let's talk about the Bengals schedule, first off, all right?
Let's.
We got it.
Absolutely.
Put up, all right? I know you're looking at I know, Tyler, you're looking at a grid over there with, all the teams and their schedules. Let's focus in on our team here real quick. The Bengals open up the season September 10th, week 1, at the Cleveland Browns. Battle of Ohio is coming to you real soon. What do you think about that, Jake?
See, it's really – I don't mind playing the Browns week 1. It's definitely an interesting start to the season. But, we learned last year, obviously, we lost week 1 but to the Steelers. But I think it definitely gives almost a different element to the start of the season. If we start off with a divisional opponent, I think it almost makes you lock in more mentally. You're starting off the year with war. That's fun.
Well, it's a battle of Ohio. You know what I'm saying? House is divided right there, man. But it's going to be something the Browns kind of retooling their whole roster and some of their coaching personnel. Tyler, what do you initially think coming out of the gate with the Browns week 1 up in Cleveland?
Yeah, it's one of those games where I like what Jake's saying. It's fun. You're getting ready to go after it week 1. But personally, knowing the Bengals last year, we stunk out of the gate.
We did.
I would rather not play the Browns week 1. Maybe week 2, week 3, start getting some of those conference matchups and divisional opponents. But I think they'll take the Browns week 1. But it's just never easy when you're playing a team within the division, especially in the AFC North. It's a slugfest every year. And this year, if you looked at over-unders, the AFC North is projected to not have a single losing record team. So that tells you where the AFC North is at. So even though the Browns and Steelers probably bottom the barrel in the AFC North, there's still going to be 9, potentially even 10-win teams based on the out-of-conference or out-of-division schedule.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very competitive division each and every year. You never really know who's going to win. It's always a dogfight. Those are some friendly numbers. But, I mean, with anything going on with that division, I mean, anything can happen. It's just the thing with it. The next game, we have the Ravens week 2 at home as the home opener. You would think with that, that playoff matchup we had that was on NBC, that it would be a primetime game going out of the gates. Just a normal 1:00 game. Tyler, what do you think about this matchup straight up?
Yeah, I think the Bengals can very well take the Ravens. If you're just looking at it, I know it's going to be a discussion. The Ravens get the Texans week 1, where the Bengals got the Browns. It's going to be a bit more of a slugfest. So if someone's coming in tired on that one, I guess you say the Ravens are more energized. Lamar coming off that big contract, but I always like the Bengals against the Browns, especially with how dominant the pass game's been lately. I just got to ride the Bengals in that one.
Most definitely. I mean, you just look at it it's just weird that we got to play 2 divisional games to start the season. Obviously, the Browns, we kind of had, our fair share of miscues over the last couple of years with them. The Ravens, the Ravens, man, they're a great September team, which is unfortunate for us. That was the one thing I didn't want to see was the Ravens in September, but we got the Ravens in September. What do you think about this?
I was saying it before we went live. that I feel this is almost a punishment for our antics, as you could call it, with the coin flip and everything last year. I think and I mean it just feels like you almost lose an important player because every game is just so physical, and you don't want to lose anybody that early in the season unless his name is Lamar Jackson. Week 3.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it keeps cutting out. If you can still hear me, Tyler. I mean,
I got you now.
yeah, kind of difficult. I don't know what's going on here, but it's all good. But yeah, I mean, look at the chunks of this schedule. We'll go through for kind of 3 or 4 games at a time. We got the Rams on Monday Night Football, Week 3, 8:15.
Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah, Super
How
Bowl
about that?
rematch. That's big.
On prime time.
Yes, sir. We got Week 4 at Tennessee. That's on Fox. We played there the last couple of years. Got to go back down there, get a win. Week 5, we travel to Arizona. That's a 4:05 game on Fox. Week 6, we welcome the Seattle Seahawks into town, the newly retooled Seattle Seahawks, and we play them on CBS at 1 o'clock. Out of those 4 games, the Rams, at Titans, at Cardinals, and the Seahawks, which ones stick out to you, Tyler?
Honestly, I think this is a stretch where the Bengals can go 4-0 after what is a very tough 1-2 week. I think if there's one game that stands out based on the storyline, you have to look at the Rams game just because of the Super Bowl matchup, the Bengals getting them at home. That's probably the one that stands out in those storylines. But really, I think this is a stretch where the Bengals can get 4 games in a row headed into a bye.
Most definitely. I think this is one of the most favorable stretches, that we have going into the, in our season. Obviously, we got the bye coming up, and then you got, some tough games there, and we'll talk about those in a second. What's one matchup that stands out to you?
I'm actually a fan of the Cincinnati-Seattle game. I know back in what year was it?
When we were
2016,
2015,
right?
2015. Yeah, I was there for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was too.
Yep, there we
so
go.
that game, we were out there together, and Bengals made a 24-7 comeback to force OT.
Yeah.
Mike Nugent
Yeah.
wins in an OT. What a game to stay 5-0, right?
Yeah, it was 5-0 at the time.
Yeah. That's just a team we don't see that often. I think it's always fun, and especially with what Geno Smith did last year. And honestly, no disrespect out there. I'm excited to see DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, all those guys. Who they just drafted a guy, running back. I forget his name. Who was it?
Charbonnet, actually.
Charbonnet. Yeah,
But
that was a
then
guy I really
You're
wanted.
also missing someone, though.
Kenneth
I was about to say.
No, you're missing the receiver, man. Our guy JSN, man. I mean, I know. But man, I mean, it's
You're right,
It's
you're
a battle of maybe 2 of the best receiving cores. When what I'm saying,
Absolutely.
like if JSN walks in there, does his thing.
I mean, I did that.
It's all good.
But yeah,
man.
no, absolutely. I'm totally excited for that. Like I said, it's just a team we don't see that often.
Yep.
I think our defense might really light it up, and just to see how JSN is doing semi early into the year, I'm excited for him.
It'll be interesting to see how that stretch goes. I mean, that could be a pretty big stretch going down the tail end of the season, right before the bye, actually. Right out of the bye, we have 2 very, very tough games. We go out to the Bay Area, play San Francisco, 4:25 on CBS. That's most likely a Jim Nantz, Tony Romo game. And then the following week, Cincinnati hosts their first regular season Sunday Night Football game since 2012. Against the Buffalo Bills. They had the whole incident with DeMar Hamlin last year. Glad he's all right. They'll be renewing that thing on Sunday night. Obviously, we played him in the playoffs and absolutely just demolished him up and down the field and all. And we'll see how that thing goes. Houston, week 10, 1 o'clock CBS. And then we play the Ravens on Amazon Prime, Thursday Night Football, week 11. Out of the 4 games right there, the Niners, Bills, Texans, Ravens, which one sticks out to you, Jake?
This might not be a popular pick, but I didn't mean to hit that. So hopefully the camera didn't shake too much. But I'm excited for the Houston game. CJ Stroud. I mean, how can you not be?
Yeah.
But also with where Houston got to pick and everything, I really think we can light them up. I'm hoping it's a blowout. You got to love those games where you can just rest easy. You don't have to stress so much. Especially, I just feel our schedule is so stressful at certain times.
Yeah.
I feel like that one could be a really easy one while still rooting for CJ.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's going to be fun to see. Mid-November, he should definitely be taking over as the starter way before then with that Texans team that they got. Tyler, what's something that sticks out to you in that stretch of four?
I'm going to say the 49ers game, an old school Super Bowl matchup, potential Super Bowl matchup for this year as well. Yeah. The Texans game feels to me like a trap game in a sense because it is that game where we can kind of step off the gas a little bit and relax. Mm-hmm. But a young team that's hungry might see a chance to go after one of the best teams in the league and get a win. So that's what worries me about that Texas game, but I'm really excited for that 49ers matchup because that very well could be a Super Bowl preview.
Most definitely. It's a Super Bowl preview. It's also, again, a team that we don't really see a whole lot of or go out there a whole lot. I mean, with the NFL schedule, when it comes to, they add that 17th game, it's a lot to explain. I'm not going to do that right now. It's almost like a whole science. But, I mean, the whole cycle is, you play, the NFC teams like once every 4 years, and, you play them at home. And then it's an 8-year gap from the time you play them on the road. You play them at home, play them on the road. It's 8 years, man. The last time I played there was 2015. And, it's going to be nice to see the Bengals playing out in the Bay Area, 425 game. It should be pretty fun. The next kind of stint of games, we got our first matchup with the Steelers coming Thanksgiving weekend at home in Cincinnati. Then we go to Jacksonville on Monday Night Football. Lawrence. Burrow's undefeated against Lawrence. Can he do it again? The Colts come to Cincinnati. Anthony Richardson. Probably going to be the starter at that time with the Colts team coming in, from the dome out to the cold. We'll see how that one goes. And then Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, a little LSU reunion on week 15. Right. It's TBD. There's not a set time on it. It could be a flex option. It could be a Saturday game. Tyler, what do you think of this stretch of 4 games? Which one sticks out to you?
I really like the Jaguars and Colts right there. I think those are 2 games for the Bengals that you got to go out and get. But also, it's going to be cool to kind of see what Anthony Richardson looks like and just think what's going to help the Bengals a lot. Probably be a nasty cold weather game in December, Yeah. And just that veteran experience that the Bengals have in comparison to the Colts, with a very young team all around. I think Joe Burrow and the guys can get it done in December.
Most definitely. And you also talk about with Anthony Richardson being a Florida boy coming up there, really getting a good experience. That's probably my dog up there. Getting a good experience of that cold Midwest breeze that we got going on there down by the river. Jake, out of that 4, what sticks out to you?
How can you not say Pittsburgh?
I know.
How can you not say Pittsburgh? Mm-hmm. Such a tough rivalry. We just absolutely have hate for each other.
Oh, we do.
But to face them so late in the year is
for our first time.
Yeah. We faced them 4 weeks?
4 weeks
apart.
After.
Yeah. Kind of surprising there, but by then I'd like to say we have our. I'd like to hope at least we have our stuff figured out, and hopefully we're rolling by that point. Maybe potentially another White Tiger game.
That could be. We'll see how that whole thing shakes up with the uniform schedule and all. It'll come as it goes. But the last 3 games of the scheduled, they're tough. We play Pittsburgh, like Jake said, 4 weeks after. That's a Saturday, 4:30 on NBC. It's a very interesting one, not one that the Bengals are used to playing on those random Saturday games late in the season. Then obviously you've got Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, New Year's Eve. That's going to be brilliant. Hopefully both teams are in playoff contention, but that's going to be brilliant. And then the Bengals close out the season against the Browns on Sunday, January the 7th. You guys can pick the same game on what stands out to you, but what do you think, Tyler?
I'm not even going to go with the game. I'm just going to go with that stretch.
Yeah.
Like that stretch. Here's what worries me. The Bengals start slow. Comes down to this time where, especially with the AFC, how it's looking, because we got the AFC South. AFC South looks very weak this year. Very, very weak.
Yes.
It just worries me, Come down that stretch. What if that's the difference between the 1 seed in the AFC North, winning the AFC North, or maybe not even being in a wild card spot or getting the last wild card spot? That's what worries me the most about that stretch. So I'm just going to say that stretch as a whole. Obviously, that Kansas City Chiefs game is going to be great. All those games will be good, but that Chiefs game stands out. But just that stretch scares me as a Bengals fan.
Yeah, got to take care of business straight up. Get to that point, have a good record, have some fun. Jake, what about you?
I'm right along with that. It's very important that we win. I mean, win isn't it important that we win
Yeah.
and win important games, but obviously as the season's winding down and you got to it gets to crunch time and you're looking at seeding. Hopefully we're in contention for the number 1 seed. Obviously, based on the past couple years, that that Kansas City game could be the one that determines it, because I know last year we were hoping that Kansas City takes an L somewhere. We beat Buffalo. Obviously, we know what happened that game, but that has major seeding implications, and along with sandwiched with 2 division games, just like we've talked about. We start the game with a divisional game, start the year with a divisional game, and the year they're all sandwiched in there. It's a very awkward schedule. What about you, Chase? What do you think?
Well, I mean, obviously, you look at this whole thing. I am excited. I'm excited. For the Bengals to back out there, play.
Miss
play
them.
and all that. Miss them most
those
definitely. We can go out there, take care of business. We can't start off slow with the 2 divisional opponents that we play. I think the scheduling of how they did it when it came to playing 4:00 games, how they did to play night games, I think it was awful. I think it was terrible.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you're talking about a team that has won 27 games over the last 2 years, 2 AFC Championship appearances, 1 Super Bowl appearance, and a team like the Raiders gets like 5 or 6 national TV appearances, and we get like 4, like it doesn't make any sense. But it's neither here or there. If we take care of business, get to the playoffs, go win a bowl, that's the goal.
Fine.
That's the goal.
If you like it, put a ring on it.
Yeah, exactly. Go to Beyonce right there. But man, let's shift to some prime time slates, man. I mean, let's what do you want to start off with, Tyler? What's something that intrigues you, like a SNF, MNF, TNF? What schedule do you want to start off with?
Man, I don't know. I think Sunday Night Football, me and you got a special soft spot for Sunday Night Football. I mean, primetime games are always neat. Another cool thing, just think about the past. Chiefs and Rams are scheduled this year. Not Chiefs and Rams, Chiefs and Lions, excuse me. Chiefs and Lions are scheduled. And Jared Goff and Mahomes. Last time they played, 105 points or something like that in those nasty Rams mustard yellow color rush jerseys. I'm not with you. No, not dope. Sick to watch.
I think they were dope, but that's a different story. Not like the Jags mustard. The Jags mustard uniforms like 8 years ago were horrible. But I think the blue was good enough with the blue offset it a little bit with the Rams. But yeah, man. I mean, like you said at the opener, the Lions taking on the Chiefs. That was very unexpected opponent for them to play on opening night. But it's fun. It's a fun one, man. Like you said, what do you think about with the Lions and Chiefs, Tyler?
With the Lions and Chiefs, I think the Chiefs are going to get it, but Dan Campbell are going to have the boys going. Gonna have the boys buzzing, ready to eat some kneecaps, bust some kneecaps, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs, a guy who we thought was drafted a bit too high, but that Lions organization obviously loves to death. Him, Jared Goff, and the boys that aren't on FanDuel probably getting ready to play the Chiefs, but it's gonna be a good one to watch.
Most definitely, man. I'm excited to see that. Should be fun. What do you think about that?
Oh, I'm excited. It's a great way to start off the year. Chiefs, Lions. Obviously being a Cincinnati fan, and I'm on Twitter a lot, and there's a lot of beef between fan bases there on Twitter. So if somehow the Lions can pull out the early win, Chiefs, I definitely can't wait to go taunt some Chiefs fans.
Most definitely, and I know my brother, who was a Lions fan for some reason, is excited for this one. So that's I'll go talk to them on the phone after we're done with this. But let's get the group of 4. Talk some Sunday Night Football games. Here we go. Cowboys Giants is week 1. Dolphins Patriots week 2. Steelers Raiders week 3. And then the appetizing one, Chiefs Jets, Mahomes and Rodgers, the first ever meeting between them, week 4. What sticks out?
Oh, just what you said.
Easily.
Mahomes, Rodgers. You were telling me a little while ago why it's the first meeting. I forget injuries and stuff, but that's kind of crazy that Mahomes has at least 2 rings.
COVID toe.
career.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for it. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Tyler, what sticks out to you on this one?
Obviously it's that Chiefs Jets game, but just going a different route, one that'll be probably fun to watch. Just because everyone's gonna be dialed in that first week. Cowboys Giants, America's team in the Cowboys, big mega media market Giants. I think it'll be fun to watch. Daniel Jones just got broke off. Will Saquon sign his franchise tag? Could be a fun game. Just that I think it's a good matchup for week one. Because everybody would tune into it, but there's a bit more excitement with it just because it's the first week and getting things going.
Yeah, most definitely. And before, you would see the Giants and Cowboys play on Sunday Night Football a decent amount, like kind of every other year in Dallas. But change up a little bit, change up the scenery. Like you said, go to the big market in New York, have Dallas come on the road. Both teams went to the divisional round last year. Adds a little more spice to this whole matchup.
NFC East teams have ever repeated in the last recent history until
That's true.
The Eagles got a shot this year. So we could be seeing two NFC East front runners in this one.
Most definitely. It's primed and ready for a week one great Sunday Night Football game. I'm excited to see what that Cowboys Giants game does. The next wave of games, you got the Cowboys and the Niners. That should be very exciting to see. The Giants are back on Sunday Night Football. They play in Buffalo. Brian Dable's return to Orchard Park against Josh Allen. The Dolphins and the Eagles. I'm excited for that one. You got explosive offenses. Hopefully Tua, is healthy at that time. We can see a really good Sunday Night Football game. And then a really, really odd one. The Bears and the Chargers are on SNF Week 8. What sticks out to you, Tyler?
Personally, I'm gonna go with just off base here. I'm gonna go Bears Chargers.
Yeah.
Because it's two teams that don't really see a lot. Yeah. Like as a general NFL fan, you're gonna be watching your team, and a lot of times these Chargers games, West Coast starts, you're not gonna catch them a lot. And the Bears are a team who are now growing with Justin Fields, getting some more media games, more bigger market games, more primetime games. So I think this will just be fun to watch because you just don't see Justin Fields on Sunday Night Football a lot, or Herbert on Sunday Night Football too much until late in the year. So you just got that mid-year matchup. Should be fun to watch. A little something different.
Most definitely. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Giants and the Bills. I think I don't think it's too crazy to say Daniel Jones almost has something to prove this year. He got that contract extension. It was a lot more money than I think a lot of people were thinking he'd get. This is a big chance to prove himself against one of the premier teams in the league. They go into Buffalo. It's not an easy place to win, especially later in the year as the weather cools off, and I can expect a good one there.
Most definitely. Like Jake said, man, he had something to prove last year. The Giants didn't pick up his fifth-year option, so he really had to play for a contract. It was either, playoffs or bust for him. Got to the playoffs, won a playoff game as well, played well in the playoff game, got the big contract. Now he's worth $40 million, and he's got to prove that he's worth $40 million. Yeah. So that should be fun to see. I'm going to read off the whole second half list of Sunday Night Football. Bills-Bengals, Week 9. Fantastic game. Mentioned that earlier. Jets-Raiders. You got Aaron Rodgers versus Devontae Adams in their new teams. That should be fun. Vikings-Broncos. We'll talk about that in a minute. Ravens-Chargers, Week 12. Should be some fireworks out in L.A. Week 13, you got the Chiefs taking on the Packers in Lambeau. Lambeau is obviously a historic place in December. You have Patrick Mahomes going there. Week 14, the classic heavyweight fight between the Eagles and the Cowboys in Jerry's World take place in, later season. Week 15, the Ravens take on the Jags. This is actually the Jags' first Sunday Night Football appearance since 2008. They played the Steelers 2008 Week 5. They're playing the Ravens. Yeah, and the Ravens and the Jags had a fantastic game last year where the Jags ended up winning right at the buzzer. And then Week 17, you got the Packers and the Vikings. Out of these 8 games, what sticks out to you, Jake?
Ravens, Chargers.
Yeah.
Two great quarterbacks. Obviously, being a Cincinnati fan, you have a little bit of burning in your heart for Lamar Jackson. But, I joke a lot about, wanting him to get hurt, whatever. But he is a great quarterback. He is fun to watch, especially going against Herbert.
Hey, he's gotten hurt, though. You know what I'm saying?
It's not crazy to say, but, those two guys, Herbert's got his arms, Lamar's got his legs.
Yeah,
What more can you ask for?
Wait, you can't forget about Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley, man.
Okay. He's
Okay.
Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley's on
They
the
got
track.
weapons for him this offseason. They got weapons for him.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be thrown to Rashad Bateman, even though he's still on the team. But oh man, but yeah, man. I mean, that should be a good game. Lamar Jackson obviously is one of the best athletes in the NFL. I mean, it's going to be great to see. Tyler, what's something that sticks out to you in this one?
So I got two for you. I'm going to go Eagles, Cowboys first because it's always fun seeing those two teams match up. But late in the year, NFC East, that could be for the top spot in the division.
Yeah.
And then same idea here, Packers, Vikings closing it off. Packers and Vikings, I mean, that very well, if the Lions, something happened to the Lions, it's the Packers up next in that conference. I mean, not the conference, excuse me, division.
Yeah.
So I think that game, both those games have very big interdivision kind of implications as well as playoff picture implications. So I think it'll be fun ones to watch.
Yep. If you watch Sunday Night Football and you see the theme song when it had Faith Hill on there, you got Carrie Underwood, you got those two matchups. You know, they always say in the intro, it always gets nasty when these two get down. So there you go, man. That Sunday night slate should be really fun to see. I'm super excited. You know, I'll tell you guys a story about Sunday Night Football and my experiences, you know, on another episode. But we'll get to Monday Night Football. ABC, they've got some really good games on the slate. Let's go with the first couple weeks. So you have the Bills and the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen right out of the gate. You just, you know, throwing a 5-course meal at us. That's fantastic. The doubleheader. So there was 3 doubleheaders on Monday Night Football this year. 2 of them in September. So you got the Saints taking on the Panthers. Derek Carr in his first road game as a Saint takes on maybe Bryce Young. It probably will be Bryce Young, but Andy Dalton's on the roster. We'll see what happens with that. It's an NFC South showdown. And then exclusively on ABC, you have the Browns and the Steelers. So that'll be, you know, a nice AFC North battle there. When you look on week 3, you have the Eagles and the Bucks. That's an ABC exclusive as well. But then the other Monday night game is us and the Rams, the Super Bowl rematch. What sticks out to you, Tyler, in those first 5 Monday Night Football games in September?
Yeah, I think going week 3 there, the Rams, Cincinnati, Eagles, Bucks. I think that's the best Monday night slate out of those 3. You know, I do think Bills and Jets is interesting, but getting the doubleheader is always nice. Yeah. Seeing Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers face off is going to be a great one to see. But I really like that doubleheader with Bengals, Rams, Eagles, Bucks.
Yeah, most definitely. That might be a game I go to curse at Aaron Donald. So we'll see what happens. Jake, what do you like in the first 5?
Yeah, of course, you know, being a Cincinnati fan, you like the Rams. You know, you want to beat them up. You want to give them payback for the tears that were cried. But that's not what I'm going to go with here. I'm going to go with week 2 on ABC, Browns, Steelers. It really cannot get more ugly than that, can it?
No, it can't. I hate both of them. I really don't like both of them.
You hope to see some injuries, maybe a quarterback on a certain team from Cleveland. You know,
every time you talk, it's injuries.
I can't.
I'm a pro player show, man. I'm a pro player show.
Yeah, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Nonetheless, AFC North, it's always a slugfest. It's always physical. It's always fun.
Yeah, the one thing that I really would have been rooting for is if Ben Roethlisberger played Deshaun Watson. If you guys want to take a look at that. Oh, yes, there you go. But week 4, you know, the London game, you have the Falcons and the Jags. That's on ESPN Plus exclusively, 9:30 game. We'll go down the list here. You got the Seahawks and the Giants, week 4 in the Meadowlands. Week 5, you have the Packers taking on the Raiders. Devontae Adams taking on his former team. Week 6, here's a good one. Got Cowboys Chargers. You know, the Cowboys going out to LA, taking on Justin Herbert in primetime. Week 7, you got the Niners and the Vikings. That should be a good heavyweight NFC fight. And then week 8, a little bit of an oddball. You got the Raiders and the Lions. The Lions getting some national primetime love. Out of these 5 games, what sticks out to you?
Man, Cowboys Chargers. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
You know, can't really get enough of Herbert, but I'm also interested in seeing Dak Prescott. You know, I think we all can say we know a couple of Cowboys fans, and they haven't been exactly too happy with Dak the last couple years. I know one guy who's calling for him to leave the team, get rid of him. So I don't want to say Dak has something to prove. I think he's already proven he can be a great quarterback, but when it comes to winning big games and beating good teams, he's not the best at it, right? And going in there and Herbert, young talent, someone who's going to be good for so long. It's exciting.
Yeah, and one thing from this schedule release is this. You'll see Justin Herbert a lot at night on your television. Tyler, what about you? What sticks out in these 5 games?
I think the one that stands out to me the most is this 49ers-Vikings game. I got a soft spot for both of these teams in my heart because I love the way the 49ers play. Being willing to hey, listen, we're going to go into this game, and Brock Purdy, you're going to throw the ball 5 times. 5 times over 5 yards. And then you're going to throw it 15 times maybe for 2 yards for these little screens and dunks. In the Vikings, Dalvin Cook, a good favorite player of mine, Justin Jefferson as well. I think that game's going to be fun to watch, but also not because I like them. These are going to be 2 teams at the top of the NFC, I think. And last year, the Vikings, a great record, weren't really tested a lot and got bounced early, trying to have a bounce back year 2 with O'Connell. And Shanahan's always going to be Shanahan. I think this game's going to be great, regardless of who's at quarterback for the 49ers.
Yeah, 2 offensive masterminds trying to get those chess pieces in a great place to win a war. I'm going to love seeing that week 7. We'll go from November down to early December. You got the Chargers make another appearance. Justin Herbert taking on Aaron Rodgers week 9. That should be good over in the Meadowlands. Week 10, you got the Broncos and Bills playing some ball. Sean Payton going up there to Buffalo with Broncos country. Let's ride, Russell Wilson. Week 11, obviously, this is the one that you got to circle. It's the Super Bowl rematch, the Eagles and the Chiefs. I'm surprised ABC got this, but I'm glad they got it. You know, kind of change up the flow a little bit.
It's not on Peacock.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad it's not either. We'll talk about that one in a second. But and then you got the Bears and the Vikings. The Vikings another home Monday Night Football game, week 12 on Thanksgiving weekend, and then week 13 you got Burrow versus Lawrence on December the 4th. What sticks out to you, Tyler?
I mean, I think the Eagles-Chiefs game is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But the one that I like for myself personally as a Bengals supporter are the Bengals going down to Jacksonville in a December game. Getting out of the cold, going down to the warm where they can air it out on a team. Yeah. I think it's going to be very good because it's going to help them play to their style. Yes, the Bengals can run the ball, but they're a pass-heavy team. We know that. Then we can stick to that pass-heavy scheme. It allows them to do well, especially against a team like the Jaguars, who they need to beat. And I'd imagine come that time of year, they will be favored. Just makes the job a little bit easier rather than having to deal with the cold in Cincinnati, I think.
That's an underrated point right there. It'll allow both teams to really air it out. If Jacksonville had to go to Cincinnati in that cold, I mean, we could be talking about something pretty different, right now. Obviously, once we get to that game, I mean, we get to that game. Yeah. But that's a good point you bring up there, Tyler. I mean, going down south, playing a Monday Night Football game early December in Florida, we could expect some fireworks in that one. Jake, what about you? What sticks out?
I got to go with the same thing. Jags, Bengals, Burrow, Lawrence. You pointed out Burrow's undefeated in his career. It almost wasn't that way because a couple years ago, you and I attended the Thursday night football game with the Jags Bengals where we had the comeback victory with the field goal in the ending seconds. But, things have changed. Things have been better for the Jags and Lawrence since some things have moved around, and especially the big comeback last year in the playoffs. And being real, they almost beat the Chiefs. They were not far off knocking off the Chiefs. They're a good team. It's going to be a tough game. Going into a very loud stadium, when you hear those Duval chants, see the pool.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
It'll be
tempting,
fun.
Very tempting. It's like the Bengals.
Hopefully no clowns.
Hopefully not. Jeez, I mean, not Halloween, but yeah. The Bengals and the Jags played Thursday night 2 years ago. They graduated. They went to Monday Night Football. Yep. So just making those, the processing steps to getting on some better primetime games. Cannot wait for that one. The third and final doubleheader on Monday Night Football falls on Week 14, December 11th. You have the Titans and the Dolphins in a very interesting game. And then the ABC exclusive is the Packers and the Giants. That'll be it's an odd one without Aaron Rodgers. Week 15, you got Patrick Mahomes traveling to Foxborough to take on Bill Belichick. I'm not even naming a player. I'm naming a coach. Bill Belichick in the cold on December 18th. Your holiday night game is the Ravens and the Niners on Christmas night, Monday night. That should be very, very fun to watch if Lamar is playing at that time and Odell hasn't torn his
Somebody
ACL
say
at that time.
injuries?
Did someone say injuries? Jeez. And then week 17, you got the Lions and the Cowboys on a Saturday night football game. What sticks out to you in this stretch?
There's not really. I get you gotta go with the best game in that slate is the Ravens and the Niners. Considering who's at QB for the Niners, I think Shanahan did say that there's no reason not to go with Brock Purdy, right? So we'll see if maybe Trey Lance fights for a spot there, and obviously a divisional opponent, and considering where they've been the last couple of years, it's always been a fight down the stretch to win the North.
Yeah.
That's a game. If they lose, that would obviously help us, and definitely exciting.
Crush their spirits. That's hopefully what happens with those Baltimore Ravens. If hopefully we're at that point. Tyler, what sticks out to you in this?
Yeah, I like the Ravens 49ers game. I think this is two great teams. I mean, it's going to be fun seeing Lamar go against that 49ers defense that's always so tough. And then also two teams that are very heavy run, but heavy run in two different facets. I'm very old school. I love seeing teams run the ball, so I think it's going to be good to see that time. Late December on a Christmas day as well.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, they run some different packages. Baltimore does. They run a lot of different personnel out there. Both of those teams use a fullback, so that's a good thing. Good thing to see. And Kyle Juszczyk, this is the Kyle Juszczyk boy. Played for the Ravens, now he's with the Niners, and we'll see how both of these offenses can scheme up some things with new OC Todd Monken doing his thing over in Baltimore. Thursday night football. They tried to say that they were going to have a better slate coming on. They're trying their best. It actually doesn't look quite bad. Let's go through it real quick. So week 2 through week 6, right off the bat, they're sticking to their word. It's the Vikings and the Eagles. They played week 2 last year on Monday Night Football in the only doubleheader that they had, the ABC exclusive. But they're playing Thursday Night Football this year. This should be a really fun one to start. Week 3, you got the playoff Giants taking on the playoff Niners over in the Bay Area. Week 4, you have the Lions playing their second game on Thursday in September, taking on the Packers at Lambeau. Week 5, you get a rematch of the fantastic Bears-Washington Commanders game from last year that amassed 19 points. And I don't even know what to say about that one. And then the Broncos and the Chiefs, week 6 at Arrowhead. Tyler, what sticks out to you in that?
Man, as you guys get it back together over there, I'm going to go Broncos and Chiefs here. Yeah. You got AFC West matchup, Broncos country. Let's ride. Going to Arrowhead. This is a Broncos team that was piss poor on prime time last year.
That's a nice way to put it.
It's being generous.
Being generous. So maybe a chance of redemption. Great defense taking on a great offense. If Russell Wilson could figure it out, this could be a really entertaining game, or we could be waiting to pull our eyes out by the end of the first quarter. So it's going to go either way, so that's why I'm intrigued by this one.
No in between whatsoever.
No, not at all.
Bears Commanders? What do you think of that?
That's actually what I was going to go with.
I figured it was.
Yeah. Why they did this, I don't know. But I think the Bears had a very, very good offseason. I think this might be the best chance Justin Fields has to prove that he's actually a somewhat good quarterback in the NFL. And don't get me wrong, I love Justin Fields, but he just hasn't had the help that he needed. They made a lot of moves. They got DJ Moore. I'm so excited for it. Yeah. Hopefully the Bears do some good stuff. But I did want to point out something that we hadn't talked about yet. How weird it is that the Packers have so many primetime games, yet Aaron Rodgers is gone.
Yeah, it's a little odd. I would have thought that they would have a little more top heavy in the schedule and have some earlier primetime games just to see like, okay, it's the Packers' first game without Aaron Rodgers. Okay, it's the Packers' first home game at night without Aaron Rodgers. Like just stuff like that. But they pushed a lot of stuff late in the season, which was really surprising. I thought they would have flipped that around.
Maybe they know something we don't about Jordan Love.
Man, who knows? Maybe he's the next coming of Rodgers, and we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, and some storylines with that. I mean, Justin Fields, third year. I mean, it's coming up to the point where the Bears are going to decide, are we going to pick up his fifth-year option, or are we going to let it go? We build around him. If he's good, you got a quarterback.
He can run. We know he can. It's just I think he was 32nd in passing yardage or some stats down
That's
there.
not
and he
on
was-
him though. That's not on him.
Yeah,
though.
it was down in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I'll say that. But yeah, and then the other thing, hopefully the Commanders can score some more points because they have Eric Bieniemy as their offensive coordinator.
Yes.
That would actually be really interesting
right.
to kind of view there. So hopefully, that game turns out to be a little bit better than 19 combined points. Week 7 through, let's go 11. The Jags and the Saints. You got Trevor Lawrence going to the Dome on Thursday Night Football against Derek Carr, Chris Olave, all those guys. The Saints, who right now probably the favorite in that division. Week 8, the Bucks travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills. I don't know what to say about that if Baker Mayfield's your quarterback. You'll see more commercials than completions that game. The Titans and the Steelers, week 9. And Pittsburgh, that game's been played on Thursday Night Football quite a few times, actually, over the last, decade and a half. Week 10, the Panthers, Bryce Young gets his chance, and they play the Bears again at Soldier Field. And then week 11, the Bengals and the Ravens have a primetime date. So what do you think?
Yeah, best game here, Bengals Ravens. I don't think the Jags and the Saints game is going to be too bad. Cool story here, a little off topic, but I did go to a New Orleans Pelicans game, and Derek Carr was there, and he waved at me and my buddy.
Yeah.
So I almost have a little thing in my heart that I want to root for him and hope he does well.
Yeah.
But I also want to root for Trevor Lawrence as well. I didn't care for him in college, but he's tore it up in the NFL. He's right along with Burrow, Herbert, all these young guys. But like I said, back on my point, Bengals, Ravens, divisional game in Baltimore. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's rough.
That's going to be a fun game. I'll tell you that, though. I mean, a lot of fireworks flying. Maybe that's another white Bengal game for there on Thursday Night Football.
We gotta
see what happens with that. Tyler, what's one that sticks out to you in this stretch?
Yeah, it's got to be Bengals Ravens. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that because I'm a home or anything like that, but that's going to be two great teams battling for AFC North seeding, AFC seeding in general. So I think that's why it's going to be so much fun. Maybe see the Ravens and they're all purple, all black, Bengals in the all white, something like that. I'm not too big on the uniforms. I just want to see the good product on the field, But I think it's going to be a fun matchup nonetheless.
Yep, yeah. Look good, feel good, play good. Hopefully that's the thing for the Bengals in
Fingers
that one.
crossed.
Fingers crossed with that one, man. I mean, there's no telling. And then the home stretch on Amazon Prime. You've got the Seahawks taking on the Cowboys. That should be interesting. The Patriots take on the Steelers, who host their second Thursday Night Football game in 5 weeks. Week 15, the Chargers and the Raiders. A good divisional matchup there. The Saints are on Thursday Night Football again, taking on the Rams out in SoFi. And then week 17, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets travel to Cleveland late in December. Tyler, what sticks out?
Man, I would go that Jets-Browns game. I mean, before some crazy things happened with the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson, before some crazy things happened, I mean, these are two guys that were going to be like faces of the NFL, you would think, Yeah. But all this nonsense or craziness has occurred. Who knows? Deshaun Watson might figure it out this year, getting back into a groove and a rhythm type deal. And the Browns could be fighting for a playoff spot. And the Jets might be fighting for the AFC East championship in this one. Or maybe even a bye or something, knowing how Rodgers can be and how talented that team is if they can put it all together. So that's why I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is, the last game on the Thursday night slate. It's probably going to be a big one for at least one of those teams, maybe both. So, definitely going to keep our eyes on that one late in December. Jake, what sticks out?
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at week 13, Seahawks, Cowboys.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I'll say Seahawks are my second team. I've always just kind of rooted for them, but going to Jerry's world, and I'm excited for the offense of both teams. And Micah Parsons, ironically, is one of my favorite players in the league. He's been so good. He will be good for a long time, and like again with Gino's contract extension, see if he can do anything. And I'll be rooting for the Seahawks in that one.
Yeah, I mean, this is a better Thursday Night Football slate on paper than it was last year. Super excited to see what comes from these primetime games, and hopefully they have a better season with their network. So that's all the primetime games right there. The 4:00 games we'll talk about on another episode. But before we go, I'll ask Tyler this first. What's one thing you took away from seeing the schedule and seeing, what teams have some primetime games, just like, the teams that they play in order? Like what's a takeaway of yours that you saw?
Big takeaway here. I know it's going to sound crazy when I say this. Like, I know the Los Angeles Chargers are a good team, but they're 5 primetime games. I mean, that's a big takeaway for me, I think. Are they saying Justin Herbert's going to have a great year? Are they scripting him for the MVP? I mean, what's happening here? I don't know. I mean, that's one that took me away. And then also, I know Kyler Murray's hurt, but no primetime games for the Cardinals, no primetime for the Colts, Houston, Atlanta. I mean, wow. It sucks to be a fan of one of those teams. Like, why couldn't you couldn't pair up Texans Colts on a Thursday night?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come on.
Yeah, like that's very surprising to think about, man. Texans Colts on Thursday night, or even a Monday night doubleheader, just to see some young quarterbacks battle. Like that's really odd to look at, man. I will have to go look at that Colts schedule because I might have to pop out to a game or so. But yeah, the one thing that I want to mention this though. So like you said, with the 5 primetime games. Week 16, obviously the Bengals and Steelers play on NBC, which is really weird. I got to really get that in me on a Saturday. But on later that Saturday, the NFL, they have an exclusive game on Peacock, and it's the Bills and the Chargers, 2 great quarterbacks going at it, and they're basically saying, hey, Peacock's not on television. You guys are going to have to go pay for it, or like I said, StreamYard, StreamEast, like whatever. But yeah, that game's not even going to be broadcasted nationally. And it's 2 of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And that's just really weird to look at, man. Just the whole thing.
The NFL is going to love themselves or hate themselves after that one.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's going to go great, and they're going to get some kickbacks from Peacock.
Yep.
Or it's going to be terrible. I mean,
yep.
Prime Video is a little different because everyone's got Amazon Prime, but still, I wasn't a big fan. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of it initially because you're losing a good crowd of people who don't watch games on their mobile devices, Yeah. I think you got to give it another – because you got the older generation. Like, my grandparents love watching Thursday Night Football. They're not going to figure out how to get on Prime Video.
That's
straight up. How many older people that are going to do that, I mean, I know – in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot, but a couple 100,000 viewers is a couple 100,000. 500,000's 500,000. I mean, numbers are numbers.
Yep, that's money in your pocket too. So I mean, that's a big thing there. What's something that you took away from this entire schedule?
I'll get to my final thoughts on our schedule in a minute, but something that was weird that I don't think we mentioned that the Jaguars have back-to-back games in London.
That's true.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
that is just so strange. But
building off of that, when you get done, I got something for you.
All right. But yeah, I mean, at least in terms of our schedule, I don't want to say disrespected. We've earned what we have. We like the challenge. That's fine. Give us good opponents because it's going to make us better when it comes crunch time and playoff time. But in comparison to last year's schedule, I just don't really feel like there's that easy of a stretch. I feel like, not every game is a must win, but you have these stretches of back-to-back divisional games or really tough teams that have just won a lot. And it's like, man, are we ever going to get a break? So we'll see.
Yeah, got to bring your A game. I'll tell you that. I mean, you would have thought last year the first 8 games or 9 games we would have went 9-0 and 4-4 down the last stretch, but we flipped it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, really Tyler, what were you going to say there?
Yeah, so the Jaguars are one of these teams now who have a longer-term deal with a European spot. And they've kind of had that for a minute. But a story that's gaining some traction now. So the Jaguars are going to have to renovate. I think it's TIAA Bank Stadium. Yep. Don't quote me on that, but whatever the Jacksonville Jaguars stadium name is, they have to renovate the stadium within the next year and a half. And the renovations they have planned are going to take 2 years. So that means they need a new alternate home. Their next biggest facility in Jacksonville is UNF, North Florida, 9,000 people in a stadium. So then they could go relocate to 3 other cities in Florida, or they can go to Wembley in London, 90,000 seats. And the other stadiums in Florida sit about 65, 70,000. Could this be an NFL's attempt to station the Jaguars in London, see how it goes for future NFL expansion in Europe?
I mean, it's a story. It's a story out there. I mean,
it'll be the perfect time to give it a shot. Like
it would be
if it ever would happen. kick him out there, and it's the Jaguars owner who's already been pro Europe, pro London.
Yep.
Maybe just give it a test run.
Maybe so. I mean, they're trying to build those steps, especially like you said with the back-to-back game. I mean, that could be the case. Looking at it, I mean, they've played one game in Europe, I believe, since 2014, so they've done it for quite a while. So I mean, maybe they're just slowly but surely making that change. One thing that stuck out to me, correct me if I'm wrong, the Raiders were like 6-11, 7-10. They had 10 plus losses last year. They have 5 primetime games. What the hell's that? What's going on with that? I mean, the primetime games they have the Steelers at home on Sunday Night Football Week 3, a September game. They have the Packers at home on Monday Night Football. They go to Detroit and play the Lions on Monday Night Football. Host the Jets on Sunday Night Football. That makes sense. Rodgers and Adams makes more sense in the Steelers game. And then they play the Chargers on Prime Video, the Thursday Night Football game, Week 15. And then they play the Chiefs on CBS and Nickelodeon on Christmas Day. Our good friend No Eagle probably
I'm watching that on CBS. No, I'm watching it on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, jeez. But yeah, just like they just have so many primetime games and national televised games. And it's just kind of like what they do to do that,
I think it's the Jimmy G effect. I think it's because he's pretty.
Maybe so. Maybe they got to get
my question. I got a question though. When's Disney Channel gonna get a game? Bro?
They got to try to have some type of competition
because Disney owns ABC and ESPN. Throw it on Disney, man. It makes more sense.
Yeah, throw one of these double headers on Disney, man. They get some late night Disney content.
For the culture, for the kids.
It's for the kids, man. Jeez. But yeah, man. It's just,
get the quarterback to take this little wine and draw the Mickey Mouse.
Hi, I'm Justin Herbert, and you're watching Disney Channel. Oh man, yeah, always fun stuff there. But man, any final thoughts before we get on out of here?
Nah, I'm echoing what Jake said. I think the Bengals should have a couple more primetime games.
Yep.
But the schedule's always fun to see, and just a good one too, Chase. Just to quote you on it, man. The schedule leaks. A plumber couldn't fix this, man. And what's funny enough, I got this little schedule up right now, this spreadsheet on the leaks. The leaks batted 90%.
Shit.
90% on all the matchups, and then 83% on the times and dates.
Wow. That's 5 out of 6 right there.
I mean, that's pretty.
Golly.
It's pretty impressive from whoever's leaking this information. There might not be a scheduled release show anymore because it just all got leaked out.
I had to get off Twitter for a minute, man, because it's at Aussie NFL and then NFL scheduled update. They were just killing it, man. Their job was like, hey, we're gonna sabotage Christmas. So they sabotaged Christmas, which was the schedule release, and they got a lot of them right, like you said. That's crazy though. 90% accuracy is unbelievable when it comes to game courses and all that stuff. Any final thoughts for you, Jake?
Yeah, it bugs me that the Chiefs have 6 primetime games. They only have one 1 o'clock game. I think it was mentioned earlier.
Yeah, one at all. One 1 o'clock game the whole season.
That's wild. Hopefully, maybe we can get some games flexed for us to prime time.
Yeah,
like Tyler said, a lot of fun to see the schedule, and my way too early Super Bowl winner is of course the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's all I got.
Yeah, don't curse us, okay? I don't know if that's a
knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on the wood over there, okay? But yeah, I mean, love the NFL schedule release, love all that. Love seeing the Sunday Night Football schedule, trying to plan out trips and all that, and yeah, I mean, this is now we're entering the dark realm of the off season, where off season previews just happen.
We got rookie mini camp tomorrow. So
we got rookie mini camp. It's something, yeah. Jeez, but yeah, man. I'm Chase Johnson. That's Jake here. Tyler Smith is keeping it real with Tyler Smith Show, and we'll see you guys next time.